And here he is, the one, the only, Stranger, Space Ace of Sosaria. You can totally tell because of the pin badge that he has on his armor that says Number 1 Space Ace of Sosaria. Totally legitimate Space Ace identification. And if that's not proof enough for you, I don't know what is. Welcome back, folks, to Let's Play Ultima 1, the First Age of Darkness. And when last we left off, after flying around in space, shooting alien space fighters that totally didn't look like other space fighters that you may have seen in anything else, the Stranger is now a Space Ace, which means that once we go and rescue a princess, she will tell us where the time machine is. Only with the time machine are we able to go and defeat Mondain and save Sosaria once and for all. But to do that, we have to do something that has been a long time coming. We have to kill the Jester. The Jester keeps proclaiming that they have the key. Now we have the key. And we also have the ire of every single guard in this palace. The guards are going to come and try and kill us. Unfortunately for them, we have maximum stats, we're armed with a blaster, and we have a reflect suit. We are literally as well prepared as we could possibly be. The only way we could be more prepared is if we had 9,999 health, as opposed to 9,018 health. We want to defeat all of these guards because they're not going to let us pass without trying to kill us. They can deal a fair amount of damage, but fortunately, we deal a lot more. We can deal upwards of 200 health with this blaster now, which is good, because we're going to need all the damage we can get if we're going to defeat Mondain. This guard is nearly gone, and that guard dealt quite a lot of damage to us. But that's okay, because this guard is not going to last half as long as the guards that we've just defeated. You fool! We're a Space Ace, can't you see the button that we have? The pin badge? That verifies everything for you. We want to unlock this. The door is now open, and with the princess following us, the only NPC I think that will follow us, we now need to get out of here. We don't have to fight all of these guards, but we will, because they'll chase us and try to kill us. They won't try to kill the princess. The princess is somebody that they want back in the prison, not dead. We could kill the king. The king will not try and attack us. The king does have a lot of health. There is really no point to doing so. So we're just going to go over here, and the remaining two guards are going to try and stop us. But little do they know that the Stranger has no time. The Stranger must defeat time, and then Mondain. The only way we can do that is by leaving. By getting past this guard. That was actually quite a lot of damage that we've taken. Nearly 700. Let's get out of here, and you'll tell us where that time machine is, right? Cassandra gives us 500 hit points, experience points, and money, and the time machine is in the far northwest of this map. I imagine if we rescued a different princess in a different landmass, the time machine would still be in the northwest. But that is not the most peculiar part about this. If we enter again, all the guards have magically reappeared, Guido the Jester has reappeared, and we can kill Guido again and get more money and more experience and more pennies by rescuing the princess. The princess is also back, the exact same princess. She didn't get very far out of the castle. We are level 10, the highest that we can possibly be level-wise, and we want to go and buy some health, because we're going to go and complete the game. With luck, anyway. Let us go and buy 700 pence worth of health. We want to buy a little more, though. Transact and offer some more pence, and we will offer, I don't know, 40? We are now at 9,999 health, which means we are as well prepared as we'll ever be to take on Mondain and save the lands of Sosaria. Let us go, shall we? We shall leave here and head over to the northwest, as we were told to by Cassandra. Hopefully the time machine will be here. If it's not, then we'll have to go and find out just where it is. There it is! It wouldn't have been there before we rescued Cassandra as a Space Ace. It's not just there for you to go and have a look at. Let us exit, because we cannot use the air car to go to the past. This itself is a vehicle. The only thing we can do is board. Entering the craft, thou dost remark upon 4 holes marked R, G, B, and W. The proper gems fit in each hole. Further examination leads thee to two discoveries. There is a button marked Launch, and thou art locked in, with nothing to do but press it. It would seem that Cassandra did not give us the keys to the time machine, and it's now locked. Way to go there, stranger! You're trapped. The only way we can go is forward. As soon as thou hast pressed the large black button, lights begin to dance across the control screens. Generators shake the very floor beneath thy feet. The small craft begins to tremble and rattle as thy journey through time begins. After but a few moments, thou dost feel a strong magic pulling thee from thy craft. A moment later, thou art face to face with the evil Mondain himself. Good luck, this is it. There is Mondain. Mondain has a unique sprite and is a uniquely deadly foe. In front of Mondain is the Gem of Immortality, the whole objective of this quest. Not Mondain, that gem. There is a story behind that gem, and it goes some way to explaining why Mondain is immortal and undefeatable. This gem was originally meant to be given to Mondain by his father, and it did have a lot of magic in it, but it certainly didn't make Mondain immortal. Mondain sought this gem immediately, however, and jealousy made Mondain kill his father, take the gem, and then corrupt the magic within the gem to make it the Gem of Immortality, which gives him eternal lives. Every time Mondain dies, as long as that gem is around, he will eventually reform and will try and kill us again. The gem is what we need to destroy to defeat Mondain. He also went into the past to stop people from trying to kill him, and so by the time the present happened, he would be nigh on indestructible. Fortunately, we have a handy time machine, and we can use this time machine to get to him, like we have done. We don't want to touch any of these walls, and we want to be very careful in our approach to Mondain. We're not using food here. We hear a strange chanting. We hear it quite a lot. I think Mondain is preparing a spell. Maybe Mondain seeks to kill us and wipe us out of existence. Let us go over here and show Mondain that while magic is good, zappy laser guns are better. Also, we're not going to steal. That was, I meant to press the A button there, but I accidentally pressed the S button to steal. He's watching. That would be foolish. Indeed, we're not going to steal the Gem of Immortality. We instead are just going to shoot Mondain with this blaster. Hello! That is a lot of damage, 36. We want to deal a lot more, though. 60 damage. That was an explosion of fire. It would probably deal a lot of damage to us. And that was a psionic shock that completely missed. Way to go there, Mondain! You truly are the final boss. That is 94 more damage, 64 more damage, 32 more damage, 8 more damage. He's running away a little. And more psionic shock, which missed again. And 74 more damage, and that missed again. And now Mondain is a bat. We were told that we had to get the Gem of Immortality. The gem. It wasn't called the Gem of Immortality, but that's what it is. We have to get the gem to win. Let us get it. It deals a lot of damage to us, 7,499. If we didn't have 9,999 health, we'd certainly be dead now, but the gem is destroyed, and that means that we can proceed to kill Mondain. One problem. Mondain is very unlikely to stay here. If we hadn't have destroyed that gem, Mondain would likely have reformed into his human form and then tried to kill us. Mondain, I think, would try and run away in this form, but we have done quite well in trapping Mondain. Let us just keep shooting him, and defeat the evil wizard with zappy pew-pews! Pew-pew! And are you gone? You're trying your best to get away, but your pathfinding has failed thee! Thou art victorious, stranger! A rain of silver lightning heralds the death of Mondain. Fleeting glimpses of fates avoided rush through thy mind as the arcane power of the mage's dying scream echoes in thy ears. 1,000 years pass in but a moment's time as a strange sleep overcomes thee. Upon awakening thou dost find thyself in new surroundings. A stately youth in violet robes helps thee to thy feet, whereupon thou dost see the thousands who gaze upon thee in adoration. Thy selfless heroism hath saved our people, my worthy one. Should our gratitude alone not be enough to sustain thee, know that I, Lord British, hereby ordain that the entire realm of Sosaria be at thy service for all time henceforth. So let it be done. Press Ctrl-Alt-Delete to restart, which unfortunately doesn't do what they intended it to considering computers of now. But that is the end of Ultima 1. There is nothing more to the game. We have defeated Mondain, we have destroyed the Gem of Immortality, and we have saved the world of Sosaria from all future threats. It's not like the Gem of Immortality is ever going to cause any problems again. We shattered it into countless pieces, and I'm sure no small pieces of the gem will cause any issues later by taking physical form, and oh, that might happen, but I'm sure it won't happen. And I'm sure Mondain didn't have any apprentices that would be very angry that we killed him and then seek revenge. I'm sure that's not going to happen either. After all, this game is called Ultima, from darkest dungeons to deepest space. It's the only game of... oh wait, there are a lot more Ultima games, aren't there? But I'm sure Sosaria is fine. Sosaria is not going to be fine. Suffice to say, the stranger will be needed again to save Sosaria and maybe even his own world. But that is not now. For now, Lord British has expressed the gratitude of all the people of Sosaria, and the stranger can rest well, knowing that his actions have prevented calamity and saved the lands. Perhaps there will be more opportunities to explore Sosaria, but not now. For now, the game is over, and I really enjoyed Ultima 1. There wasn't any music at all, and the sound effects were perfectly serviceable, and the graphics were fine as well. Primitive by the standards of games today, but I didn't have any difficulty identifying what anything was when I found it. I knew what enemies were on the overworld and in the dungeons. I knew what things were in the dungeons. I knew what things were in the towns and the castles. And I could also recognize the things that I was using to travel around. Everything was recognizable. And that is what's important, that you don't get confused by what you see. The space part of the game was a bit peculiar, but then again, Richard Garriott did just want to add that in because he could, and by that extension it would be a little bit odd. But it was something different, a nice reprieve from going into dungeons, killing enemies, getting gold and getting experience, and then going back in, because that's pretty much what the game is. Go get stuff, go into a dungeon, kill things, come back, and then go do it again. You're doing it all so that you can get the gems, and then get to the time machine. That's pretty much what everything leads towards. And in that way, it's very difficult to get stuck, because eventually, as you explore, you will figure out that you need to go and explore somewhere else off the landmass that you're on. You get a ship, and then you sail to the east, or the west, or the north, or the south. Any direction will bring you to somewhere else. And from there, you will then explore some more, and then you'll find another quest, and from there, you will then eventually get to the end. I think this is a game that was probably quite difficult at points, if you didn't have things like the blaster. The blaster certainly helped, but you could probably do just fine without it. It's a really fun game too. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to playing the second one at some point. I want to see what other things the game will add, what new mechanics, if the dungeons will be the same. But suffice to say, that is not for now. For now, I think it's time that the stranger have a much-needed rest and consider what his next course of action should be. For Sosaria is a world that is now at peace. Maybe he should return to his own world, either by a spaceship or through the mysterious way that he got here. We're not quite sure how he got there, but suffice to say, he is a stranger from another land, and maybe he'll return there and rest there. But for now, I'm Kikoskia, and that was Let's Play Ultima 1, the First Age of Darkness. There will be a second age. There will be a second age of darkness. That will be for another time. For I'm Kikoskia, and that was Let's Play Ultima 1, the First Age of Darkness. A very basic role-playing game, but a very enjoyable one. After I gave it the chance and figured out the controls, It was a far easier experience to play than I thought it would be, and a far more enjoyable experience than I thought it would be. What's to come for next time? Who can say? But maybe there'll be just a little bit less space adventure in the next game I play compared to this one. Who'd have thunk that playing a role-playing game from the 80s would involve a space fighting section? I wouldn't have. And yet, there it is. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. Perhaps Sosaria will need the stranger again. Perhaps Sosaria will grow to depend upon the stranger. And perhaps the stranger will one day be known as something else. But for now, Sosaria is saved. Mondain is dead, and the evil that he was spreading with the gem of immortality and his magic is gone. Evil may once again return, but maybe the stranger will return too to save that land once more. Later.